Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next session of From Nothing, Lorna's story. Now, this session is going to be unique as compared to every other session involving Lorna, at least so far. As we play today, it is going to mostly be discussing what Lorna will be doing over the next year until she graduates the Merryguard Academy. So, without further ado, Lorna, you have completed the Fall Festival. You even won it. You and your team came away from it with scars, stories, and perhaps a better understanding what a combat zone might feel like. You chose to study out the remainder of your year at the Merryguard instead of the immediate graduation offered for victory. And so tonight we will handle exactly what that means for you. First and foremost, over the year, you are now busier than you have ever been before. But unlike before the Fall Festival, your missions and free agencies have grown tedious. You spend days at a time on stakeout in nearby towns, waiting to see if a person appears, which they often don't. You have escorted so many caravans to Augur City from Ferrum, you could probably ride that stretch of road with your eyes closed. Where at one point you likely would get attached to your horse, that horse has been rented to someone else, and then your next horse got sick, and so many horses have gone by that you're not sure when they stopped really meaning something to you, beyond just a means of travel. You've spent days in the Ferrum market just standing around. Little more than a security guard for a Tridonian merchant or a Terraconan trader offering rare wares. All of this tedium can be exhausting. And on top of that, the lessons with Tabernac have grown fewer and farther between. At first, it was class 4 times a week and duties once. Now, you find yourself performing menial mercenary work 4 days a week and only having a day to work on your studies. Knowing this, and how much your time is spent for the Merryguard Academy just learning how to be a mercenary, how does this year go for you?
I hope well.
Okay. First and foremost, there's a lot of things that we're going to have to cover over this year. And aside from the training with the Merryguard Academy to become a mercenary and learning the tedious work of stakeout, tracking, protection, escorting, aside from all that, Lorna does still manage to find some time in the evenings for herself or for her own interests. And so what are a few things that Lorna wants to accomplish before she graduates?
Well, on my list of things, the first thing that I really wanted to do was help Tier find his animal companion, because before the Fall Festival, it was a really big deal for him.
Okay.
They talked about going to Tabernac and maybe using the lens oculum to see if maybe it was a different plane they might have to search.
Okay. Tabernac likes you, but for another student to use the equipment in the wizarding classroom is going to require either some work or maybe a promise of extra tasks.
Sure, yeah, she would do that.
Okay. Before anything else, roll me a persuasion check.
Okay. Oh, it's not good. It's a 13.
Okay.
Please.
With a 13,
Please.
Tabernac. Hmm. He can use the lens oculum if and only if both of you show up for extra merc work for the next few weekends. Which means by assisting Tier, you are going to have to give up some time that you'd like to put towards something else.
Okay. This is important to him. She would do it.
Okay. So, he looks through the lensoculum. Roll me a D100.
Okay. 92.
Okay. One second.
No worries.
All right. Roll me a D10.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It is a 6.
As Tier looks into the lensoculum, you see that it passes over various lenses that he's looking through. He needs to make an intelligence saving throw.
Oh no, where did he look?
Okay, he rolled well. I'll remind you, looking through the lensoculum to the uninitiated is jarring.
Maybe she should have mentioned that.
Perhaps. As he looks into it, you see his whole body tenses up and he closes his eyes really tightly for just a moment. And he says, "All right, you could have maybe told me about the..."
I'm sorry, I kind of forgot. It's been a minute.
He, rubs at his temples and he says, "It's gonna sting tomorrow. All right." Ugh. And he then steels himself and looks again. And you see that he is... While he was holding his eyes, Tabernac, in human form, gently tapped the lenses. You saw that he was looking through a wine red lens, and it shifts over while Tier wasn't looking to a green lens. You can roll an Arcana if you'd like to see.
Yeah. What's going on? Arcana. Oh my god, Lorna. Terrible. An 11. Oh.
Well, you don't know what the wine red one was, but you studied the beast lens.
Is that the one?
The green one is the beast lens. It's an emerald green lens that when Tier rubs his eyes, he opens them and then he leans down again and looks. Okay, he is peering out into the beast lens. For you, Lorna, this is just kind of, you're just waiting to see what happens. From Tier's perspective, he sees all of the bizarre, enormous, strange, and frankly, sometimes terrifying creatures of the Beastlands. Okay. It doesn't take long until he pulls away from it. What is this? Okay. He looks at you and he says, "Could you... What is that one?" And he has turned the lens toward a thing. And he asks you to take a look.
You would look?
It is a... Well, bird is a hard word. It is a strange-looking creature. It is clearly perched atop a tree with wings that are outstretched, but there are 4 of them. One of the 4 wings are enormous, but the secondary set of wings are much, much smaller. And it does stand on what looks like claws, like any other bird does, but it has a very its beak looks jagged, almost serrated. That being said, its head it's the shape of a falcon, but it is enormous. It looks, just from your perspective looking through this lens, it looks maybe medium-sized.
Person-sized.
Yeah. Roll me either Arcana or Nature.
We're gonna do Arcana and hope for a better roll. A better roll. 19.
A 19. You remember reading about this when you studied the Beastlands. It is a bird. It is thought that it's one of the birds that a rock descended from. This one, it doesn't get much bigger than it is in what you can see here. You remember it is called a song kipping.
A song kipping.
Yes.
Okay.
You know a couple things just from remembering it. You know that when it flies, because of its unique wings, it can make music that sounds like speech.
Terrifying.
Yes. You know that they are omnivorous, you know that they can be dangerous, and you know that they are very intelligent.
She would relay that as she looks through the lens to him. And
Tears.
then after she finishes, she kind of pulls back and says, "That's what caught your eye, huh?"
Roll me an insight check.
Oh, yeah, baby. 26, natural 19.
Tier, while you were in the lens, you pull away and you look, and you see that he has been staring at the lens. Like, he looks all a little starstruck.
Interesting.
And when you ask that, he looks over you and he says, "Oh, that's a gorgeous bird, that is.
I don't know if gorgeous was the first word that came to mind. Intimidating, maybe, is what I was thinking. But
Yeah,
it's drawn you to it.
absolutely.
Wanna maybe try to negotiate with it? It's intelligent. How intelligent? Is it person intelligent? Is it more intelligent than that?
With an Arcana of 19, you are aware its intelligence is better. It's better than an eagle's. They're smart. So probably maybe a 9 or a 10 intelligence.
Okay. Smarter than most people I know. Got it. Well, that's a good start.
Okay. I have an idea. I have to talk to Triss about it. See if we can. She talked about it as a. I don't remember the word she used, but it was like a spiritual go in there and.
Kind of like what I did with Requiem.
Sure, I guess.
I did a whole thing to connect with him on a spiritual level. I don't. Maybe they're different.
Tabernacle
but it
next to you
sounds similar.
says a soul projection, and
That.
and Tiara says, "That's what she said." Oh, yeah. Okay. Why is it scarier when you say it?
Everything he says kind of has that timbre to it.
Okay. Right. I'm going to go talk to Triss and see if we can get that sorted out. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And don't forget the extra weekends that we're pulling now because of this.
Yep. I remember.
It'll be so cool with your new friend. Hopefully.
Well, I do have to, land the date, as it were.
Well, think of your pitch, because I had to give Requiem a pitch too before he agreed to
Shit.
hook his carriage to my
Horse?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What did you say to Requiem?
He asked me what I was looking for, and I said, a companion. I was honest. I said that someone who I could be with always. And he was lonely like I was. And that resonated with him.
Okay.
But I wasn't trying to, I wasn't trying to say what I thought he needed to hear. And I think if you are willing to connect your soul with something, you need to be honest.
Right. Okay. Well, if... Okay, so that raises a question. Can Requiem, your dog, can he see what you're thinking and stuff?
Uh, if I open my thoughts to him,
Right, okay. So you're honest with him about everything, then?
there's, I can't conceive of a world where I would benefit from being dishonest with him. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah,
He's a piece of me.
right. This might be a little harder than I thought. Okay,
Are you worried
a little?
that the bird won't like what she, they sees?
Yeah, I am. But, I mean, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, and I'll find another creature. Or
I think
maybe I'll
that there
find another
was
bird.
a reason that you were drawn to this, and I think you should follow that.
Okay. Thanks, Lorna.
Yeah.
And Tier, like, bows politely to Tabernac. And then Tabernac, who's not really sure what to do with that, says, "Yes, yeah, well, I'll see you for extended duty." And Tier leaves. So, you've helped Tier select the animal companion for his class as a ranger. This raises a question. Well, not really a question, it's more of a statement. When we handle these little vignettes where we pick a moment of your timeline, there are some things that are going to be a little too complex to handle as a full scene, and there are some things that are going to be very easy to do, just as we just did.
Yes.
On the things that take a longer vignette, it might push this session into 2 sessions. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. That was the question. So, you've aided Tier in finding his animal companion. Let me mark down that he has... Let me write down first.
As Thong Kipper?
Capine. I'll type it for you.
Kipping. Yeah, okay.
It is an Amaranth special.
Ooh, the Amaranth special.
There's lots of
Do you have
creatures
art
that
for
are...
it? Because I would really like to see it.
Yeah, I'll show you later. Okay, so... Next. So that was the first part of your task, which you've dedicated a little bit of your time to just helping Tier. What is the next thing on your list? We might as well start tackling them.
The next thing on my list is kind of a two-parter. Lorna wants to work on her dexterity. And she wants to do that with Norre. Because she also wants to get closer to Norre and hopefully get her on her team.
Okay.
Spend
working
time
on
with
your-
Norre, occasionally tucking and rolling.
Okay, so it's going to be the other way around. To get your dexterity up by the end of the year, you're going to have to really focus on training it.
Yes. Okay.
Before we get any farther than that, go ahead and roll me just an acrobatics check to see how we're starting.
Okay. A 3. Awesome. It teetered off at 17, which is very depressing for me.
That's okay.
Oh.
Okay,
Lorna.
so... You're starting from scratch, basically. Your dexterity is 10, right?
Yes, it is. It's my worst stat.
Okay, so... In your off time, whenever you can, you are meeting with Norre in the training room. Now, she's not willing to give you more than like a couple hours every evening because she has other things that she wants to do, like making money.
Sure,
But
I'm just hoping I endear myself to her at some point.
sure, roll me a
Without killing her.
persuasion check to try and get on Norre's good side.
Okay. Oh, so much better. A 23. I'm much more charming than I am flexible.
Okay. Throughout your training, you learn a few things about Norre. She is, first and foremost, she values action over words, which is unusual for a bard. She isn't. She's actually fairly quiet. While you're training with her, she doesn't rail you for your mistakes. She does not yell at you. She just watches you fail. She doesn't correct you right away. She waits to see if you've noticed your failure. So, the first training that you're doing, which is really simple, Norre has used magic to create a balance beam. And she's just making you walk back and forth across it. And as you said, Lorna's balance is terrible. So...
She eats shit constantly.
Yeah. That's... For the first week or so, you are doing drills on this balance beam. And after about, like, maybe 4 days, where you are perhaps deprecating yourself for how poorly you're doing on the balance beam.
So many, like, skin knees and palms.
Norre will say, you can't stop beating yourself up as you fuck these up, or you're never going to get better.
I know.
You have to beat yourself first before you can beat the obstacle. If you don't think you can do it, you can't.
I don't know if you can relate to this. I'm sure you could in some ways. I like to do things that I'm good at, and I do them a lot because it feels good to be good at something. And I just kind of avoid things I'm not good at, and therefore I never get better at them. So it's hard to face failure when you don't let yourself be exposed to it for the first entire years of your life.
There's comfort in competency, I get it. But you're never going to get competent at anything else if you don't ever try it. And to be frank with you, you're not that far from being competent at this. You just have to force yourself past the failure.
That's why I'm here.
I know.
The mental block is bigger than I thought.
I can see that. She, because of that high persuasion, she's very... You've seen Norre talk to other people. She can be a bit harsh and short. Mm-hmm. With you, she's expressing some patience, because it seems as though you're being honest with her. At least that's what she can tell.
She is.
So, roll me another acrobatics.
Okay. Oh my god. Worse? Can I have advantage?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why would you have advantage?
Because Norre's being patient with me.
No.
Alright.
Your persuasion check means that Norre is not bothered by your failure.
The fact that I rolled a 3 and then a 2 is just so beautiful.
Mechanically, the dice, they're just saying you're failing. But, clearly, there's more to this than just Lorna can't stand on a balance beam. Mm-hmm. What is that? Why does Lorna recoil from physical ability? Because there has to be something there.
If I had to put a thing to it, and this makes perfect sense to me, is that she was raised very coddled. Her father gave her the world, and everything was easy for her. It was either easy for her or someone else did it for her. So things like academics and intelligence-based things, that came easily for her, so she did those things for herself, and she enjoyed that. But if it was something like cleaning or physical activity or anything like that, it was given to somebody else to do for her. And so she never developed like the muscle memory or the thought that you just need to be able to do certain things to survive in the world.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to roll an insight check for Norre to see if she can read the problem. Okay. Are you trying to hide this?
I don't even think Lorna's really conscious of it.
Okay. Then after you rolled that 2, and you just beef it, Nore
Again.
kneels down next to you, and she, like, props you up so you're sitting on the balance beam. And she says, I think I see the root of the problem. She looks at the balance beam, and then at you, and she says, was there a moment during the festival that you felt helpless, like there was no one there to help you?
Um, the moment where I was actively dying. Yeah, I did feel that way.
She nods. She looks at the balance beam again. And she says, the reality is, any time your friends weren't right next to you, you were by yourself. And no one was there to help you.
Yeah.
As you're on this balance beam, I realize I'm right here, talking to you. But you're falling off because you're hoping someone else will do it for you. There's no one else here. You have to do it for yourself. And how well you get it done, how well you want it to be done, is up to you.
Okay.
She backs away and doesn't help you up, and she says, try again.
Lorna pulls herself up into a standing position.
Does she look a little bitter about it?
No, she's not bitter about it. She's embarrassed, but she understands that Nore means the best in this circumstance. She's not criticizing her, she's observing. And
I'm asking really be detailed because Nore rolled a natural 20 on her insight.
ooh, she is taking it to heart in the sense that she realizes she's kind of trying to translate this into a way that she understands, like with academics, where you just have to receive that kind of criticism. And it's not to put you down or make you feel bad, it's to improve you.
Okay.
And she sees that in what Nora is trying to do to help her. So there's no, like, the embarrassment is that she hasn't already been able to do this by herself. But she's not bitter about being told the truth.
Nora would catch this embarrassment. And all Nora would say is just nothing to be ashamed of.
You're right.
I never knew how to play the flute until I did. Someone had to teach me. And she gestures to the beam. Roll me another acrobatics.
Come on, I literally, okay, I'm not even.
We're going to be stuck in this
myself.
vignette until you roll decent.
I'm going to jinx myself. A 13 is better than a 2.
Yeah, the DC was 10.
Yay.
You, a little unsteadily, you focus on the beam. The spatial awareness of where your feet are going. And instead of thinking about what is around you, who's looking at you, who is going to take your hand when you start to slip, there's no one there to take your hand. And when you feel your weight tilt, you realize if you keep leaning that way, you're stepping off the beam. You're eating shit. And you right yourself. And when you get to the end of the beam, Nore, she can learn. That's the end of that vignette. Over the next, I'm going to say, maybe a month and a half to 2 months, you're not doing anything practical. You're just going through balance exercises. And Nore never alludes to the fact that these are the sorts of things you teach like a fighter or a martial artist in their first, like the basics, the first day. She never tells Lorna that. It's clear Nore has trained people before. So, it goes well. And because Lorna is honest with Nore the entire time, Nore's opinion of Lorna improves.
Yeah.
So we're going to come back to the dexterity training later. Next, before anything else, during one of your evenings, as you settle down to try and rest, after a long day of bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
you receive a message.
Okay.
It's in your head. It's maybe, I want to say, a month and a half after the fall festival. It's a voice you recognize. The master says to you, Lord Cross is out and about once more. Now that I can reach you, maybe so can he. Be careful.
That almost felt good-willed. Almost. She didn't say that in response. That was
Okay.
her thought. That was her thought. To that she replies, I appreciate the heads up, is all she's going to say.
Okay. A few moments pass. Another message. As you are enrolled in the Marigard Academy under my orders, if he learns you're there on his own, could be unpredictable.
Man. To that she'll reply, what do you recommend?
The next message is much shorter. We'll discuss it in your dreams.
Oh, great. She's already wasted so many spell slots.
It's not her spells.
Oh, shit.
Why would she be burning?
I don't
Cindy
know.
for this?
I don't know her. I don't know her spell list.
So, with that awareness, do you have a hard time going to bed that night?
Oh, yeah, she would.
Okay, roll me a wisdom save.
Yeah. 14. She would be like, you know, when you can kind of see colors in the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
She would like kind of like convince herself that she could see like maybe what just might be an orb, like a scrying eye, but there's nothing there, or maybe there is.
Okay. Well, the DC was a 12, so you do manage to relax yourself and fall asleep. As you do, sure enough, you find yourself in the dream environment of the Master's, well, foyer? It's a weird place. You feel as though you've just stepped through a door. In front of you, the Master is, well, kind of pacing as she looks at you, and she says, Hello again.
Master?
Your face was on many scrying screens.
I realized that about halfway through the festival.
The good news is, your father was held at the time, so could not likely have seen one. The bad news is many people did see them. And if someone who did see your face, who knew that you were being searched for, you see what I'm getting at?
It's a pretty narrow window of where I would be.
Mm-hmm. You have made my job a little more difficult, so we have a couple options. We could leave things as they are. Assume Balin Cross is going to search the land up and down for his lost daughter. Or we can inform him you're at the Marigard Academy under their protection, upon which he will stop his search, perhaps do something stupid, arrive and try to visit you. But we will know the time frame upon which he will try that.
What do you... So doing something stupid is showing up to get me, right?
Yes. As you are enrolled in the Marigold Academy, you are protected by said academy.
Yes.
Especially if you have informed them of your precarious situation.
Some know.
Well, then an abduction of one of their mercenaries will not go unpunished. So, I have many suggestions. The easiest is, well, one that actually would cost me quite a bit of money. I would like to keep Lord Cross alive, as well as yourself.
Do you think that he could perish if he came here?
Yes.
Is that the only option? If he, I mean, what would happen if he came here with the Marigard just...
Well, it would depend on what his intentions are. I cannot predict the actions of a man who has been stalking a woman who was his daughter, but actually not, for so long, with such drive. I have yet to speak to the man in person for a while, so...
But you have spoken to him in person.
It's been a long time. Before this. She gestures to you.
Right, but was I... Was I, like, alive at the time? But much younger, obviously.
Yes.
I don't actually know how much you know about me.
You don't have to worry about that. I'm working. Can we handle that later? Anyway.
Sorry, what did you say?
She says, what I know about your situation is not important. What I do know is that you are nearing completion of your time as a student at the Marigold Academy. Which means that all of this effort is soon going to come to a head, where you will finally handle the task that I have waited for you to complete this entire time. It's very simple.
Graduate?
No, well, yes, but that's neither here nor there. Before you graduate, within the month, you will receive a package by animal carrier. Inside the package will be a small object. You will secure it on your person. When you graduate, you will be escorted into the offices of the leader of the Marigold Academy, one Zane Tourneau. You will leave that object discreetly in his study. And that's all.
It. Can I insight check her? I doubt I'll get anything, but...
Yeah, you can insight check her.
She just wants something. Like, any kind of intention for this. 17. I'm sure her charisma's off the charts.
One moment. She has a small smirk on her face. You can't tell if it's satisfaction or anticipation. You're not sure. She's hard to read.
And that's that for me. Am I expecting to leave the Marigard very quickly after this?
There is a pause, and she says, I expect you to, once you've graduated, become an alumnus of the Marigold Mercenary Group. You'll return not to Silver's Reach. I happen to have a location of value in Chrysalis.
Chrysalis.
You know where that is?
I know a Priscillin.
Well enough. But now that you've been trained, well, once you've graduated, you will have been trained. Your time at the Marigold Academy will be over, and we will begin your work for truth.
I see. So any like connections I've made here, I can't bring them with me.
If you can convince them to leave with you. But I warn you, I cannot offer the same protection as the Merigard Academy can. I can offer money to those who are useful. But I do own you, if you remember.
Hard to forget. And about, Remus
Mm-hmm.
is the expensive option, just letting him continue wringing Sarah's dry for options to find me?
It's not expensive for me. It's not expensive for you. But it is unpredictable. If he finds you, he might appear when we don't expect him to.
But he's not making fast friends with the Seventh Trellis.
No.
Feasibly speaking, he might just be on his own capabilities. And I don't know how. I don't know what he's capable of, I suppose.
He is a man of quite some means. If you'll recall.
I do. I suppose. I don't think baiting him is the option here. I think that's, even though we can narrow the time frame, I think that's risky because he's still, as you say, unpredictable.
Then let us hope he does not show up at your door. Anyway, I grow bored of this. Good night, Lorna. And the dream ends abruptly.
Okay. Oh, shit. Can I do something that would happen when she wakes up?
Mm-hmm.
She would go find Maxwell.
Okay.
Mr. White.
Yeah, easy enough to do. You find him. I mean, he's usually in the selections room.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the road classroom's around here somewhere. That's beside the point. Maxwell.
Yeah?
Problem. Merigard. Security risk.
Alright. What is
Do
it?
you have a minute?
He, looks around the selections room. Yeah.
So... I guess I'm just being blunt now. You're a part of the Copper Mask, right?
He just raises his eyebrows.
Great. So, I heard from Tabernac that someone named Hale Northair used to be involved with the Copper Mask. Do you know anything about that?
One moment. The name doesn't quite ring a bell, but I can look into it. Why?
Because I know she has a bad taste in her mouth for the Copper Mask. I think her father was involved or something. Ultimately, Hale Northair is now the master of... I don't actually know what her group is called, but she's based in Ceres. You're following me, right? We've talked about this.
I am familiar with criminal enterprise. Yeah.
Yes, she wants me to do something suspicious upon my graduation, and I think it might be to the detriment of the leader of the Merigard.
Really?
Zane something?
Okay. What is it that she wants you to do to Zane that she expects you to live afterward?
Carry something into his quarters. I'm gonna get a package. I'm supposed to discreetly deposit it in his quarters and then leave. And that's all she would tell me. But I can't imagine it's any good.
Maxwell nods as he leans back and he says, "All right. Well, then that is what you'll do."
All right, so that's not what I thought you'd say. Please go on.
Well, whatever it is that she wants you to plant in Zane's quarters, We can't... Have you ever heard the phrase of, it's not a trap if you see it?
No, but it makes sense logically.
Yeah. So, it's a bear trap that we're poking the stick in.
Right, setting it off kind of yourself. See what it is, see what she wants.
Mm-hmm. We can identify whatever it is that she wants you to carry so long as we know it's there. And you've done that by telling me that it's going to be there.
Yes.
I will do some research into Hail Morthea and see what it is that might have led her to have a bad taste in her mouth. His mouth?
Her mouth.
Okay.
I don't know who Zane is. I think I've heard the name in passing.
He's the operator in charge. He's not the leader, but he does run things here.
Sounds like a leader, but okay. I don't know if he has anything to do with her previous experience with the Copper Mask. I just know she has some history there. But I do know that this doesn't feel like it's good for the Marigard, and the Marigard is the reason that I am free, and I don't want to have that fall apart.
I understand. Thank you for the warning.
I'm also terrified because she's going to fucking kill me.
What?
Hales, she's scary.
Are you indentured to this person?
Yes.
I see.
Which is why she asked me to do this. She didn't ask me, she told me. She told me to do this because I'm supposed to graduate and then go work for her full time. But I don't want to do that anymore, so.
Oh. Her plans are, as soon as you have the badge, as it were, you would leave and no
She
longer
didn't want to
work
waste
for
her
us.
time training me herself, so she figured the Merit Guard could do that. She'd pick me up when...
I see. Well, that is obviously against our interests. So, I have some research to do.
Let me know what you find.
Thank you for the warning, Lorna. I'll let you know what comes of it.
Can I insight check him? Just to see how he... If I can see
Sure.
anything. Insight check central. 16. Hopefully his charisma's less than hers.
He looks annoyed. Not at you.
Okay. Whew.
He looks annoyed at the situation, as if there's more shit to deal with.
Ugh, I gotta deal with this now. Okay. I'll let you know if I know anything more, but I doubt she'll say a goddamn thing.
Next time you have anything to say about this, let me know. We can go to a more secure location.
Right.
This room is fairly well protected, but not impenetrable.
Lorna looks a little sick to her stomach, and she, like, why the fuck didn't I think of that? Yes, I will communicate with that. Communicate with you about that next time.
Off you go.
She goes.
You see, as you're leaving, he, like, pulls a stone out of his pocket.
Oh, what have I done?
Okay. You've done that.
Mhm.
What's next on your list?
I've drawn my lines in the sand now. She really wants to get... Hold on, let me just take a glance at my list to make sure. I want to continue pursuing this bond with Norre. Lorna ultimately wants to get to the point where she learns more about Norre and then maybe divulges more about herself to her to see if she's, like, amenable to being future
Okay, so instead of your... Alright,
partners.
you can pursue, like, spending time with Norre in more than just the dexterity training.
Yes.
Okay. So, go ahead and Um.
Friendship check.
Okay. If you're sincere about it, roll persuasion. If you're
I'm
not, roll
very, very
deception.
sincere, which is sad because my deception's better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. No.
It's
No.
chill. It's okay. It just means every time you try and talk to Nore for this bracket of time, she's busy.
Okay.
It's not. You don't
Did I
like punch her
ruin
in the
everything?
face. Um,
She suddenly finds me very annoying.
so aside from your dexterity training, you basically keep asking her to hang out, and
Hang
she's like,
out.
and she basically is like, "I'm sorry, I got stuff I'm doing," and
Yeah. Yep. Of
it
course.
keeps happening. Roll me a d100.
Okay. 34.
34. Okay. All right. I need a roll. So, okay. Roll me a d12.
Okay. 8.
All right. This timeline, as we're going through it, we're going to be jumping back and forth a little bit as we handle certain
Sure.
things. As you're nearing graduation,
Oh boy.
it is nearing the end of the year. It's basically late spring, almost summer, back to when you first started. And you receive a letter.
Mm-hmm.
It is sealed. It is delivered by what looks like a it's like a very out of place dark brown owl. It's peculiar to you. But you do recognize it as one of the frequent creatures to be seen around Irongate.
Oh.
The letter is sealed with a wax seal that you recognize as the Cross family crest.
Oh. Okay. So I think holding this letter, it kind of crumples a little because her ceramic hand just like tightens without her really being able to process what's happening. And she's gonna go find Anscombe.
Okay, you find Anscombe. Do you open the letter?
She's going to. Anscombe, I need you.
Anscombe looks at you and he says, "Right now? Right here?
Yes, right now.
Okay.
Please come with me.
Oh, all right." And he stops whatever he was doing and he'll follow you.
She would go to her room, which I'm assuming she still doesn't share.
Hold on a minute.
Or does she?
You don't share your room, no.
That's good.
So Anscombe looks confused.
Yes.
He's like watching you as you run into the room and he follows you. What's going on?
Do you remember? It was a long time ago. We had this whole conversation about who I once was.
Yeah?
And you remember why I came to the Marigard?
Yeah.
Can you just quickly give me the breakdown of your understanding of that? Why did I come to the Marigard?
To get away from your father, who's actually your old husband.
And I just got this in the mail. It's a letter.
It's unmarked, by the way. There's no writing on it.
Uh-huh. I'm... The Cross family crest is on it, and I'm worried that he's found me.
Well, it did come to you here, so maybe whoever it was who sent it said your name, Or, like, did a guy give it to you? Like,
An owl did from the region. I have actually not opened it yet. I was too scared to. That's why I found you.
Lorna, you're gonna have to open it.
I
You have
know.
to, maybe you see if there's, like, a curse on it or something. Can you do that?
Can she look it over? Actually, she can cast detect magic. Just give it a, and she'll look at it closely herself as
Okay,
she
roll me
casts that.
investigation as you cast detect magic.
14. Man, this is the worst day for rolling for Lorna.
There's no magic on the letter.
Mm.
It's mundane. It is an unmarked letter. You see that the vellum that the envelope is made of. You notice it doesn't look like the same sorts of envelopes that you've seen your father use in the past.
Okay.
That's all I
She
can
would
give you with a 14.
she would sit down on her bed and just grab Anscombe's hand and open it.
Okay. You open the letter as you break the seal, and you see there is a single parchment that seems to be wrapped around something inside of it.
Mhm. She would carefully, without touching what's in it, she would take the wrapping off of it.
Roll me a d10.
4.
One moment. I'm sorry. 4. Okay, hold on.
I'm just ripping my own nails off.
I'm sorry.
It's like one of those scent of 50 people or Bloody Mary will show up tonight and eat your face.
Okay. In the letter, you open up this wrappings. You see there is a small note. It's very small, and it's beneath it. You recognize as a spell scroll.
Uh-huh.
The spell scroll's folded up very small, which you, as a wizard, kind of makes you cringe because scrolls
Ugh,
don't
it's
handle
not right.
folding well. But the scroll seems intact.
She would go for the note first.
As you look at the note, all it says, use this. 9 o'clock tonight. F.
Oh. Okay. I think she would sag with relief. Does the handwriting look familiar?
No.
Interesting. And she would
It's clearly not in script. It's finely written, but it's like someone intentionally wrote it with copperplate handwriting.
I see. And she would go for the scroll and see what it is.
It is a spell scroll of non-detection.
9 o'clock.
Anscombe's like looking at it and he says, "What's going on?"
I'm not 100% sure. It's not from him, unless he's playing a trick on me. The woman who helped me escape from my home.
The evil one.
No, not her. For all intents and purposes, she was like a mother to me.
So what is this?
I'm assuming this is from her, because it says F, and her name is Fionn.
Okay.
She wants me to use this scroll at 9 o'clock tonight. I guess.
On you?
I guess. All it says is use this. 9 o'clock. That's right. That's all it said?
That's all it said?
I guess.
Roll me an Arcana check to see what you know about the non-detection spell.
Okay. Come on, Lorna, you piece of shit. 12. He's very nervous.
With a 12, non-detection is a third level spell, so it's a little beyond your means, but you can still cast the spell scroll if you roll well enough. It's an 8-hour duration spell. It is not concentration. For the duration, you hide a target that you touch from divination magic. The target can be a willing creature or a place or an object no larger than 10 feet in any direction. The target cannot be targeted by any divination magic or perceived through magical scrying sensors.
Huh. I wish I had this all the time. I kind of do. Doesn't matter. Use this 9 o'clock tonight. I guess that's what I'm going to do.
Anscombe looks worried and he says, "Okay, can I help? Can somebody help?"
I don't know what's going to happen.
He just kind of looks a little glum.
You can be here with me. It doesn't say you can't be, or it doesn't say I have to be alone.
Okay. He still looks pretty glum. He says, "I just wish I knew anything about what's going on here.
Me the fuck too."
Can I help you cast it, or can someone
Maybe.
I mean, I've got a little practice in magic, but
it's a little above me. Help me work it out when the time comes.
sure. Do you want? I know you've been hanging out with Norre lately. Do you want to see if maybe she can bolster you a little?
That's not a bad idea.
I'm full of them.
Do you think this would be a weird introduction to what's going on with me? Because I've been trying to figure out a way to talk to her about that.
Maybe don't drop the whole shebang on her, but
right.
Just be like, "Hey, I really need your help. Can you help me with this?" And if she wants more, she'll ask.
That's a good idea. I do recall kind of when I dumped it all on you, and you kind of looked like I hit you with a brick.
There was a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It was scary. But then I felt really selfish for almost running away.
And that's only your self-preservation talking, and honestly, that's something you should listen to more often and me less. But I appreciate you being stupid.
I'm not. I see.
It was a compliment.
I got it.
I realized that came out as... you're very cute.
He blushes and just stops talking.
Okay, maybe talk to Nori.
You got a few hours. It's 3 in the afternoon.
Okay. So now or closer to?
Maybe give her some time to prepare.
Okay, so now.
Probably.
Okay, let's go find Nori.
So you go and you find Nori. At this time of day, she's just getting out of class.
Hey.
Hey. What's up?
I need your help.
I know. We got training.
A little different, kind of. This is more emotional. Are you okay with that?
Nori, tilts her head and says, "Not you too."
Me too?
There's have you met Tam?
Yes, I've met Tam.
Yeah, he's delicate. What do you need help with?
I'm going to be doing something tonight. I'm not actually sure what it is yet, but I think it might be difficult or scary, and you're a bard. Just think you could give me a bit of a kick in the ass?
This is the strangest way anyone's ever come on to me.
What? She looks at Hanscom with this gesticulation, like she can't find the right words to say, and then she looks back at Orange. That's not what I meant.
Okay. What she means is she hopes that you can help with something important.
Mm-hmm.
Nori kind of nods her head and she says, All right. Uh, what can I do?
Well, first and foremost, I have to cast a spell that's a little bit above my current level.
Oh,
Um, Maybe just look at it with me and we'll go from there.
you need. Okay, yeah.
And also, just like I know my whole training has kind of been like me being able to do things on my own, but I could really use the support right now.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage because Anscombe is there to help you.
Oh, thank God. 25.
With a 25, Nore looks at you, Lorna, and she says, "All right. You've always been pretty straight with me about, well, most things, I think. So,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, all right, fine. When and where?
Um, Maybe a little bit before 9. My room, I guess.
Where's your room?
Wizard quarter. She'll explain.
Okay. Uh, she nods and she says, "All right. That's fine. I'll
Okay,
be there.
thank you.
I'm really hungry, so I'll see
No,
you
yeah,
later."
sure. Don't let me
And
hold you up.
uh, and so we can skip ahead to that if you want
Mm-hmm.
to.
Yep.
So it's like 8:30 in the evening. You and Anscombe are like maybe talking or biding time when there is a knock on your door.
Lorna goes to get it.
Nore is there. She's not wearing her typical armor that she'd normally wear. She's just wearing casual traveling clothes, and she looks in and she says, "All right,
Hey,
hey, so what's the deal?"
please, yeah, come in. Shuts the door. So I got this scroll that I'm supposed to cast at 9 o'clock.
Well,
I'm not 100% sure what it does, except that it makes scrying on me difficult. Looking into me, or any sort of divination magic,
you need to hide from someone.
I guess. Well, yes, for sure. There's a lot going on there. And Anscombe told me not to dump it on you all at once, so I'm trying to be good.
Okay. And she looks at
Um,
Anscombe and she's like, "Is it that much?" And Anscombe just nods. She says, "All
yeah,
right. So you're hiding from someone. You came here. Is it something to do with the amnesty clause? Are you in trouble?
kind of. Um,
Maybe you should give me the gist."
oh gosh. Okay, I had to leave home really
You,
quickly.
you and a lot of people. Oh, okay, that's new.
Yes, I don't get along with my dad, and I had help coming to the Marigard. And I'm hiding here basically until I graduate. But I'm worried that my dad's going to find me, and the person who helped me leave home sent me this scroll today and told me in a note to cast it at 9 p.m. That's pretty much where you need to be.
Nori like pulls out a pocket watch and looks at it. She says, "All right, yeah, you got a few minutes. Can I see that scroll?"
Yes, please.
She unrolls it and looks at it. This is beyond me too, at least a little bit.
Hmm.
I can help you. I can see if I can maybe bolster your attempt with an inspiration.
I think that'd be great. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if anything's going to happen, but I'm a little worried, so
My
that's
gamble
why.
is you're hiding from someone and someone has sent you a scroll to help you hide better. If everything goes well, I imagine nothing will happen.
But it only lasts 8 hours. Why would this time frame matter in the grand scheme of things?
Maybe your friend learned that whoever's looking for you is going to do something tonight that would find you.
That's really smart. Oh, now I feel nauseous. She just kind of clutches the scroll in her hand and waits. she'll actually sit down next to Anscombe and kind of like go over the parts of the spell that they know and the ones that they're kind of struggling with, just to kind of
I can roll.
lead up to.
I will roll an Arcana for Anscombe, who is an Eldritch Knight. If he
He's
rolls
very
well
smart.
enough, he can assist you in casting the spell, which he can give you advantage on the spell scroll roll if he rolls well enough. So
Okay.
one moment. He rolled a natural 19, so
Ah, I love this man.
he takes in the divination runes very smoothly, smoother than you do, honestly.
Why are you so goddamn smart and wonderful?
Well, look, it's pretty straightforward. It's just, you look at the shape of the runes and they
As he's
match up.
explaining it to her, he's like going in depth in his explanation. When he looks over, she's just kind of nodding, but she's watching him talk instead.
He's, like, as he's in the middle of talking, he suddenly stops and he just blushes. And,
Oh no, please go on.
Okay, so these are crossover runes between divination and abjuration, because this is, he's real flustered. And, like, while this is happening, Norre is across the room, like, on the other bed in the room, and she has pulled out a flute, and you see that she is slowly, like, oiling the various fluting holes through the whole thing, and she's watching, and she says, "You really weren't hitting on me, were you? That's a fucking first. Everyone in this goddamn academy thinks with their dicks first, I swear."
Oh. So that's good? Wait, no, not that part. Ah, sorry, I'm a little...
It's a
What
relief.
time is it?
I'm straight. I'm
Oh. Oh, okay. Good. Great.
She looks at the pocket watch and she says, "It's a few minutes to 9."
Shit.
And she just puts the flute, and seeing you interacting with Anscombe, you see that she visibly is more relaxed.
Oh. Can I insight check that?
Yeah.
I love doing that. 14.
She's not... Her guard isn't up because you get the impression Norre gets hit on a lot.
Oh. Poor Norre. I'm glad she's comfortable.
She seems to finally loosen up a little bit as she's like noticed that you have interests in someone else. She says, "All right, it's time if you're all ready."
Yeah.
And she begins to play a lilting tune that is hopeful. It's slow, but it's in major notes that cannot help but make you feel more confident. And you have a D8 bardic inspiration.
Yes. And advantage on my roll because Anscombe
rolled really well. So go ahead and you cast using the scroll. I need you to make a spellcasting check. The DC is 13 because this is a 3rd level spell.
Okay. One of those was a natural one.
With a 23.
Plus D8. So why not?
You just need...
She's here.
Okay.
25.
As you read the scroll, you've created scrolls before. You're very familiar with the sensation of using a spell scroll. It crumbles to almost impossibly minute and finite ash that blows away into the weave. And as it does, suddenly it's as though the entire room, emerging from the center of the spell scroll, just a quiet that as soon as it began, it's almost as though it's immediately gone. It's as though even Norre's music had a hiccup that you couldn't hear it for a fraction of a second. Non-detection is in place.
Lorna kind of leans back and looks at both of them and says, "Well, I mean, Nora, if your guess was accurate, I guess we won't know."
No news is good news, right?
I suppose. I don't know, I'm more the type who likes to know, even if it's bad news, but this could be really bad if... I just wish there was more to it. I wish she'd said more.
Well, it's likely she said as much as she could.
I'm sure she did. I actually haven't heard from her since I left Saris. When I came here. I was worried about her.
Well, I suppose this room is as safe as it could possibly be. So, do you want to talk about it?
Lorna kind of half smiles and I've been kind of trying to figure out how to have this conversation with you for a while.
Nori, like, tilts her head.
Not to... God, I did this to Anscombe, too. I don't want to put a whole bunch of pressure on you, but there's a lot going on with me, and... You don't have any hang-ups with associating with, criminals, do you?
No, I don't. Half my family back with the Blade Maidens were on the wrong side of the law.
Okay. Anscombe, where do I start? Where would you
really,
have found it easier?
Maybe skip the Lily part.
That is a lot.
Yeah, that's really what concerned me. Was I was worried you'd switch or something, but
It hasn't happened yet.
Nori just is like, what?
We'll get there.
Anscombe says, "Don't worry, it's not a big deal. I promise. Don't worry about it for now."
Yeah, that's not a big deal. Lorna kind of outlines for Nore. She said that she didn't get along with her dad. She kind of explains why. That her mom died, and her dad didn't take that well. And after Lorna kind of found out his true intentions for the grown-up Lorna, she had to leave, and she got mixed up with a crime lord, got sent to the Marigard to train up, and that's why she's there.
Roll a persuasion at advantage.
Okay. Persuasion. Where are you? Natural 20. That's what I wish I'd done when I was talking to Anscombe.
You very eloquently get across what happened to you. You say it as though you're looking back at it with real clarity, now that you've been away from it for a while. It's no longer just happened to you, and you can tell the story in a way that is not so panicked or frantic. And as you explain what happened, and as you explain the truth about Balin Cross, Nore seems receptive. Parts of it, she definitely looks a little disturbed.
Valid.
When you talk about getting to the Master, she looks a little more at ease, as this is almost like an evil she can quantify. As you talk about it, though, she then says, "Wait, so after all this, you're leaving the Academy?
Not if I can help it.
But you have a crime lord on your back."
Yeah, but fuck her.
All right. That's the first time since I met you that you showed spine that I could truly respect.
Room for growth?
Yeah.
I don't want to work for her. Honestly, I hate her. With all of my being. She took my fucking hand for no reason, really.
I did wonder about that.
Yeah, that was her handiwork. Haha. Oh, and the scar on my face, too. I plan on building a team here and making something of myself for myself, and not because she wants me to or because I'm her property, like she says I am.
All right, so you're going to tell her to fuck off. Here's the important question. Do you intend to kill her?
I don't see an ending to this where she stays alive and I stay alive.
Well, in my experience, people you cross, they're going to try and get their pound of flesh.
There's no doubt in my mind. That's why she needs to die.
I see. All right. Well, I'm glad you told me.
It's a lot.
It's not as much as you think.
Well, there's... Right, of course.
She seems like she's considering something for a long moment. And I will tell you, your natural 20 has earned you a bit of insight into Norre. She kind of glances over at Anscombe and then at you, and she says, well, I'm here for selfish reasons. Do you know who the Blade Maidens are?
We talked a little bit. Singing demon slayers.
Yeah, that's the romantic part of it. There's a lot of monsters on the west coast of Tarracona. Not all of them are demons. There are lots of people there that would use the demons for their own good. Take control of them and use them to fight or kill people or enslave them. Everyone thinks that because there's a gold dragon looking over the roost that it's much safer, but it ain't. It's not at all. It's, if anything, he can't really leave his roost. And so, there's lots of raiders. There's lots of bandits. Worst and probably the most disgusting part of it is a lot of them used to be part of Unahi. You heard of that place, right?
City of Scales.
Yeah. Beautiful city. It's real safe there. It's right underneath the golden ass, as they call it. She shakes her head. She's kind of like twirling the flute between her fingertips. She says, I came here because I wanted vengeance. I came here because those demon tamers got a hold of some of my family. I don't know if they're still alive. If they are, they're being enslaved. And I hate that. I hate that so much. It took a lot for me to accept that I wasn't strong enough to deal with them all myself right then. Me and my brothers would have rode out and slain every single one of them if we could. And we tried. But I lost 2 brothers on that attempt. So I had to step back, accept that I'm not strong enough. I came here to get stronger so that I can put those monsters in the ground and then deal with the demons. So whatever it is that you got going on, this disturbed, real fucked up sounding fella trying to marry his daughter. I've seen some darkness. That's not the worst I've seen. But I ain't seen it from people. People that weren't touched by the abyss. When you're near the scar, when you're in the Drake Guard and you're near where the demons come from, it changes some people. Some people can't take the pressure. Some people twist. They align themselves with the demons, which is really how I think they can enslave people, using demons and just live with it. This man that's chasing you down He's got darkness in him that didn't come from the abyss, and I don't get it. So, all I want to say is, thank you for telling me. You help me with my problem. I'll help you with yours.
You don't even have to ask.
No, that's how a deal works. Like, you help me get my sisters back, or get them vengeance. I'll help you with your gross stalker.
Okay, it's a deal.
Nori holds out her hand for a shake.
Lorna shakes back.
Anscombe's like sitting next to you, and he's got his arms folded, and he's just got a smirk.
What's that look on your face for?
I told you you could be fucking, like, reasonable to talk to if you just tried.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I always thought I was reasonable to talk to.
That's the problem.
Oh boy.
As it's getting a little later, Nori, after shaking her hand, she stands up and she says, "Alright, I'm gonna go drink. Can y'all leave this room? You cast it on you, right?"
I did, so I think it's fine if I move about.
Alright.
It lasts for 8 hours. Guess we'll see what happens.
Sure. I'm gonna go see if I can wring some more coin out of the Marigard. I'll catch y'all later. And she...
Thank you, Nori.
No worries. And she walks out. Anscombe's still smirking at you.
What?
Well, now we're in your room, and no one can look in.
You are so fucking smart. That's like my favorite thing about you.
Alright, well, thanks.
Well, one of many. She tugs him.
Okay. As we fade to black in that moment of victory, we push the schedule forward a little bit. Or back, because you have lots of things you're trying to do. Meanwhile, during this long stretch of time before your graduation, you don't have a whole lot of time to yourself to try and do other things, but it is a good idea to try and make a little bit of money during this time skip. And I'd love to know how it is that Lorna's going to attempt that.
Oh. She knows how to make spell scrolls.
She does, and
she's pretty good at getting tips from people she does free agencies for, so hopefully she gets some money out of that.
So you haven't really... So the problem with the free agencies that you're on now is they're the menial learning to do basic mercenary work free agencies, where you stand there on guard, or you ride with a caravan and nothing happens.
Hard to get a tip out of that.
Yeah. If you'd like you can try and pull a tip by maybe doing something extra on these free agencies, but that will take more time away from other things that you could do.
We'll just do what she needs to do there. Maybe part-time scroll writing for class at the Griffin's Bag.
Okay. You do gain proficiency in land vehicles over this year.
Woo!
That is just from riding.
I can ride a horse.
You can. You've developed calluses in places you didn't know you could have. At first, your hips hurt all the time. It's as though your bones were not meant to move the way that they're moving. But after about 6 months of your consistent mercenary work for the Marigard Academy, those pains you don't even remember them anymore. Riding a horse is as second nature as walking. You don't have proficiency in animal handling from this because the horses are all trained and tame. But you know how to ride one very proficiently, so thumbs up for that.
Yay.
So, you're going to try and make some scrolls in your free time for the Griffin's Bag. Mm-hmm. Okay. There's always a need for them. What first level spells and second level spells do you have? And that you're willing to make scrolls for? You do not have to have them prepared, you just have to know them.
Okay, spellbook. I have Charm
different.
Person, Detect Magic, Disguise Self, False Life, Find Familiar, Ice Knife, Identified, Lorna's Burning Blood, Shield, Silvery Barbs, Sleep. Those are my first levels.
Okay. So, all right. Different spells are worth more, but as you make more spell scrolls, they become worth less because they
Sure.
have a supply of
I
them.
saturate the market.
Yeah. What second level spells do you have?
I have Blindness, Deafness, Blur, Dragon's Breath, Levitate, Lorna's Instant Embrittlement, and Suggestion.
Okay. Making a second level spell takes a longer period of time, but they're worth more money.
Mm-hmm.
You can enlist Anscombe if he's free, and you can use Requiem. It's a little less reliable than
He's
Anscombe.
my little buddy.
Yeah.
I'll do both. And she's definitely going to be
can't do both.
sprinkling in her own spells.
You cannot do both.
She would use Requiem because
There just is not enough room on a spell scroll for both.
Yeah. She would be putting her own spells in because she's trying to circulate some
Okay.
knowledge of her existence.
Unfortunately, your spells are not well known, and so they're not in high demand. So
No, she would just put one in and just push it on.
Okay.
Like including a copy of her book, like amongst other books.
Right, okay.
She's self-promoting.
One moment, please. Okay. So, for making spell scrolls, alright, you can sell your spell scrolls to the Griffin's Bag. A first level spell scroll you can sell for 15 gold, and a second level spell scroll you can sell for 50 gold.
Nice.
The time difference is it takes you a couple days to finish a second level spell scroll around all the other work that you're doing. You can finish a first level spell scroll in a day. You can make one a day, basically, around all your other work. You also won't be able to do this every day, but let's go ahead and get a roll out to see how well you do, because not every time you make a spell scroll is it successful. So please roll me 3 rolls. I need an Arcana check, I need a concentration check, just a Constitution saving throw, and I need a D100.
Okay, Arcana first. God damn it, Lorna. That's a 9 total. Oof, that's terrible.
Sorry. You have advantage because Requiem's helping you.
Oh, okay. That's 24.
Okay.
24 Arcana Constitution saving throw or concentration check is a 10.
Okay. And
is that also at advantage or no?
No, that is not advantage.
And the last one is a D100.
Yes.
15.
Okay.
Hopefully that's not the gold I make.
Over the year, as you're making these spell scrolls in your free time, you don't have as much time for it as you'd like. And a lot of times you're distracted, whether it be by other work, by Anscombe, by the rest of your party, by Requiem, by people coming to find you and asking you questions, or by literally just ADHD. You just can't seem to focus very well. So, over the year, which is a long time, your income from making these spell scrolls is 550 gold.
Nice. Nice.
Now, do you spend any time, like, eating at the Merry-Guard, or you just stay in the mess hall and eat for free?
You know, once a week she might go out with her friends.
That's fine.
Treat herself. Just support Nore. She's putting on a show.
Sure. Go ahead and just shave 100 gold off that.
Okay.
Just for the entire year.
Eating out.
Yeah. For living expenses, basically. Because that's pretty reasonable. Okay. What else is on your list?
I have look into some questions that she's had continuously with Lily and the Nightingale's rebirth and other memories.
The thing is, a lot of these things can't really happen until you've graduated. The Nightingale's rebirth is not something that Lily can remember, and it's not something that you can research.
It has to be kind of sparked by things.
You have not discovered any new stigma. any new triggers, basically.
Okay. That's fine. I just had it on the list. Another thing would be she wants to work on her graduation spell.
Okay. That's something that you've talked about what the spell's going to be.
Yes.
Go ahead and roll me a few things. First is the pitch. You have to explain the spell to Tabernac.
Okay. Oh, God.
Go ahead and, as you're coming up with the idea for the spell, I'd like you to describe the spell as you would to Tabernac, and then roll me a persuasion check.
You want me to describe it to him?
Yeah.
Good God. Okay.
So Tabernac is sitting on his stage in the classroom, and you have your notes on like a massive parchment that you're walking up to
my
him.
PowerPoint presentation, basically.
And Tabernac is like seated, dragon loafing, as they like to call
Aww.
it. And he says, "Yes, Lorna. What is
So
it?"
for my PhD defense, I will be presenting what I'm going to call Lorna's Guise of the Golem. And like she prestes fireworks.
Tabernac looks unimpressed, but he says,
Okay, yeah, well,
"Go
alright.
on."
So, do you recall in the fall festival when I randomly turned into a golem because of a stale fireball bead?
Yes, you had a spark of wild magic, which was interesting.
It was. And I was inspired by that in such a way that I would have I mean, I won the fall festival. You knew that. You were there. But I might have done even better if I had been a little hardier. A little harder
Yes,
to
there
hit.
might have been less death in your experiences.
Yes, I did die. I think I would have not died had I had the spell on hand. And that is to transmute my physicality temporarily into that of an immaterial or a golem,
I
a
see.
non-organic substance. And whatever you transition into depends on what your focus is. You could be concrete, or you could be obsidian, or in this case, and she kind of gestures to her hand, porcelain. Whatever you pick doesn't actually affect the durability
I
of the
see.
spell
So
itself. It's more of the magic.
You would be using your prosthetic as the component for the spell. Does the spell consume it?
No, because that would be stupid in this case, because then I would be down a hand.
Yes.
It's convenient that I have a built-in spell component, but for anybody else who might be casting the spell, it would just be 75 gold pieces worth of whatever material they wish to transmute their physicality into.
Understood. Go on.
It would make them harder to hit. It would raise their AC. It would make them hit harder, which is great too, because most wizards aren't known for their ability to throw a punch.
Can you explain how?
How it would make me hit harder?
Yes.
Well, it would allow me to use my intelligence modifier instead of my strength modifier.
I was hoping that you would have a creative answer to that.
Let me think about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might need more time for that.
Sure. Okay. Tabernac is nodding along, and he says, "If I recall, your expertise has been in the transmutation school of magic. This fits that keenly well. This is acceptable for your graduation spell, should you complete it successfully.
Yay.
Let me see your work."
Notes.
As he looks
along.
over the notes, roll me persuasion at advantage.
Yeah. Oh my god, Lorna. 15.
With a 15. Tabernac looks over the notes and he says, "A little rough shod, but this will certainly do for a foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, get to work." And he passes the notes back to you.
She would do so.
"I expect to see you cast it."
I've already cast a 3rd level spell with a scroll. Is that the same thing? Is it going to be harder than that?
He blinks and he says, "You're not to be casting this with a scroll.
Well, no, that would eat the scroll. That would be stupid.
Yes, you will be casting this from your own will."
Right. Yes.
And he just
She
kind
will-
of shoos you away.
Okay. She would work on her spell.
Okay. We will handle that in the next session when you actually cast the spell and such.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you've got Tabernac's approval, which was really the important thing.
Mm-hmm.
The approval was pretty much guaranteed when you made it a transmutation spell and it functioned. So the 15 basically was just...
So I ass kissed because he's a transmutation wizard, and so am I.
Yes.
Yay!
No, he's not a transmutation wizard.
You said he was.
You are. Your
I know
graduation
you.
spell needs to be the same school as you.
Oh no, but you said that he was a transmutation wizard like a million years ago.
Is he? Did I do that?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me look at his thing.
Did I do that?
I don't remember anything. It's
It
a
was like
problem.
it was like the first or second
Yeah,
session,
he's
so I
a
don't blame you.
transmutation wizard. Okay.
Yeah, I remember everything.
I'm sorry, I'm terrible at this. Okay, what else is on your list, if there's anything else?
She would. There is this kind of conversation she should probably have with Tier.
Okay.
About them. That probably happened sooner after the fall festival.
How does that conversation go?
I don't know. Hopefully, well.
I need to know what the conversation is.
She would. I don't know. They like walks. She would take him back to that fucking druid sanctuary and kind of like, hey.
Hey.
Oh, this is going terribly already.
This is... You say hey whenever you're already uncomfortable, so...
Yeah, so... I kissed Anscombe.
Yeah?
Yeah, you were there for that. You saw it multiple times, actually. And so, we've been kind of... Don't make me say it.
We fool around.
Yes, we have. Is that weird?
No?
I figured you wouldn't think so. I'm the only one who's making this a big deal. It's not a big deal.
No, it's not.
Right. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that going forward, that's not going to happen anymore.
Okay.
And it's not a problem for you, is it?
I like you, Lorna. You're very pretty. You're very funny.
You were going to say cute.
I was thinking about it, yeah.
Pretty's better. I like that you picked that one.
You're old enough that I can call you pretty. Look, I understand not everyone sees things the same way that I do, or any other follower of Tindra, okay?
Yeah.
I understand some people want to be loyal to one person and see any other contact with anyone else as a breach of that trust. I get it. It's okay.
So you don't see it that way, do you?
As a breach of trust? No. It's because it's not... It's about the emotion that matters, right? Like, if I love someone, they have all of my emotional trust and promises, right? I will bare my soul to them, and they would to me, I hope. But if we both find a nice cookie on the side that we can both enjoy, I don't see why that's a problem.
But would it be a problem if you both didn't want that cookie?
No, then we wouldn't eat it.
So, but it would have to be both of you.
No. It's like, let's say it's not... Okay. If there's no emotional attachment, right? If say my partner, he or she, whoever that is, finds... Maybe they found a cinnamon roll, and I don't like cinnamon. Which is... I love cinnamon. It's not the point.
That's simple, but yes, go on.
It's just physicality. They have needs. They have appetites. Maybe I'm not available. Maybe I'm busy. Maybe I'm just not in the mood. It doesn't matter, right? Because I know the connections with me. And I trust that if it wasn't anymore, they would talk to me about it. Because that's what a healthy relationship is. It's communication and openness. So, yeah. You like Anscombe, and you want to only be with Anscombe. That's fine.
Yeah.
You say that like that's not the truth.
It is.
So why do you sound so hesitant? He seems like a nice fellow.
He is.
He could toss me
Uh,
around, that's for sure.
oh boy, okay. I care a lot about you, dear.
I care about you too. I've
I think
seen the
that's
depth of darkness that's behind you, and, it's hard to see something like that and not want to help. But on top of that, you're actually pleasant. And for a noble born, that's pretty rare. So,
I'm a unicorn. Um,
yeah.
okay, so I know you can brush a lot of things off with your sly wit and humor. You're really good at that.
You just release him.
Sure. Can you uh not do that real quick?
What you need?
Just for a moment.
Yeah.
I love you.
You see for the first time in a long time, the little smirk on his face turns to an actual smile. And he says, Lorna, after all we've been through, of course, I love you too.
I just don't ever want to lose you in my life.
He is going to insight check you. He rolled like a 26.
Holy shit. I don't even know what to do about that.
Do you mean it?
Which part?
Yes. He's got a really good read on you.
Yeah, he's so really good read. She's bearing her soul to him.
So she means it. He stops and looks at you. His face suddenly turns very serious. Sweetheart, I'm not going anywhere. And he pulls you into a hug.
You're my best friend, dear.
The last people I really cared about were coughing out their own lungs the last I saw them. You've been a breath of clean air that I've needed for a long time. You should try this honesty thing a lot more. It really suits you well.
And just like that,
he kisses you on the top of the head. And he says, "You're my best friend too."
Okay. Don't go anywhere, okay?
I mean, I'm on your team, aren't I?
Yeah, you made that mistake. Now you have to live with it.
It's one of the mistakes that I'm perfectly happy with. Tell Anscombe he doesn't know how good he's got
it. I think she just kind of quickly wipes at her face. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
All right, I'll tell him.
Oh, please don't.
Oh, he knows. Look, I might pull your leg a lot, but let me be real with you. You have a way about gathering people around you who care for you. Everybody trusts you. Whether they should or not, I'm not sure, but at least I've seen you be honest with me, and I've seen you be honest with Anscombe. I know you love him. And I know you love me too.
Good.
But I know you're in love with him.
Are you so sure about that?
Yeah.
Well, shit, I've never said anything like that to him.
Maybe you should.
Well, he hasn't said anything to me.
Have you seen how he looks at you?
It's nice to hear it sometimes.
Maybe he feels the same way.
Shit. Why are the men in my life so fucking smart?
Tindra. This is like... I grew up with this.
Damn you.
I'm sorry I'm more mature in my relationships than you are, Lorna. I'm sure you'll get there.
Thanks, I guess.
I wasn't joking. I'm sure you'll get there.
I hope so.
You see he, like, reaches up to ruffle your hair for a moment, and instead he just wipes your eye.
Stop if you acknowledge it. I'm gonna be so mad.
Can't you, like, just presty that all away?
I actually don't know prestidigitation yet. I'm working on it.
Is it that? Okay.
It's just been on the list of
he
things.
just chuckles and he says,
It's really not that hard. It's just on the list.
you know what I could do with right now? Because we talked about pastries. I want a trolley cake, so that's where I'm headed next. Do you want to come?
Yes, please.
I thought so. And now, for the last time I'm ever going to do this, he slaps you on the ass.
Fuck. That was a good one.
I had to make it one to remember. And as you and Tier make your way out of the Druid's classroom, all the way down.
Too much BG3.
Yeah, jeez. All the way down to the market to get yourself some pastries. I think what we can cover from the timeline has been covered.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else we will handle next session?
It's gonna come to a head.
I know the session was mostly talking in Theater of the Mind, but to all those who are listening, thank you. And hi, Pen.
Hi, Pen! How's work? It sucks, I know.
We love you all. And I had a good time doing this. I hope you did too. I hope we answered a lot of questions about what it is that you're going to be handling. You made you cry.
I did make me cry.
Anyway, we love you all. Good night.